Viewers and subscribers, this is BVI Channel 1. I'm Asu Chinadu Peters, and on 101, I am with a father, a spiritual father, a member, not just a member, the chairman, board of trustees, Alibo Development Foundation, in the person of Bishop Obi Onubogu. Thank you, sir, for having us again to be on this interactive section with you. It's been a while, and it seems the voice of the elders are not being heard as much. The voice of the youths are sounding loud and loud in frustration, in anger. And today we've seen a narrative, a political tsunami ravaging Nigeria today.
Yeah.
The agitations, the disappointment, the frustration of young generation of Nigerians, especially in the southeast. And the question is, what will be done so that there will be peace in the land, beginning with southeast and other parts of Nigeria?
I'm glad to be here with you. It's a great pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
As you introduced me, yes, I am the chairman of the board of trustees of ADF, Alibo Development Foundation. Bishop Obi Onubogu, bishop at Rock Cathedral, Rock Family Church, Enugu. Ndị Igbo desire peace. They are peace-loving people. Can you argue that? The only group of people up to today that are known to continuously love to live outside their land, develop outside their land, establish trade with people outside their land. So this is it. You know, I am nearly 84 years old. I have been there. I was there during the Civil War as a young man of 20s. I was in my 20s or so. Then up to now to see what is developing. There are basic things. You call it tsunami. Yes, technically that's the right word. But I remember very clearly that many years ago, the young in this nation were given the chance to exercise their gifts, to exercise their knowledge acquired in the universities and so on. I was speaking to a group of people before I came into this place now. And there's a gathering of young people, students. And the question came up. What the children, the young people were asking, what have we done wrong that we are not given the right to play our part in the affairs of the nation? And one of them reminded me of some facts which I know. He said to me, "Daddy, what was it like when you were at our own age many years back?" And I remembered. I may not get the figures correct, but I remember that General Gowon came in as a head of state at a very young age. I think it was 31 years or 32. I remember Onubogu was the head of state of Biafra at 33. 33. So a few hours ago, they called out people of that age bracket, the people that are between 30 and 34, 35. And they say to themselves, people of our age took over the affairs of this country and ran it correctly. Why is it that we are not given the chance in this dispensation to show forth our talents and our experiences to the nation? And that is the reason why you have the tsunami now. They are asking. They are no more requesting. They are almost violently asking, what have we done wrong? Finish school, no job, and no opportunities to even further their education. Coming out of school with a lot of backlog of strikes and so on. No, you have a group of people that have suddenly discovered that someone is taking their chance. And that's why you have this. And unless the young people of this nation are given the opportunity of rulership, is going to continue to snowball into agitations, protests, and so on. This is what I think.
Now, the solution to all this,
okay.
Because before you dabble into the solution, there's one important thing, just like you've highlighted, the old order, the older generations of your type, and even those who are older, are still yearning for leadership position in the country today.
Yes.
And the young people are asking the same question, where is their place? And when will be the tomorrow they've been promised to be the leaders of Nigeria?
I think that the old order should begin to give way for the new to come.
So men at your age shouldn't aspire for top leadership positions in this country?
No. We have retired. Well, I don't want to say expired. That would be wrong to say that. We still have something, but we are retired to give way for fresh blood to come into the system. And let me tell you, these young people are dealing with a situation all over the world that is current now. And it's not only in Nigeria, it's all over the world. So, and yesterday again, I had a meeting, a church meeting with a group of young people. And their theme, I want you to listen to this, the theme of their fellowship and meeting and prayers was this. It says, oh dear, when I remember it, I just laugh. Ambushing the old order. To ambush is a military term. It means to reduce the effect of your enemy, the combatant, by attacking their supply lines or confronting them from a place, a concealed place that they don't know, or sudden outbursts to interrupt what they are doing. the youth have decided that they are going to face this situation, either frontally or secretly or whatever means they've decided to do it. In other words, they need to be given the chance to play their part. I have 5 children, I have 13 grandchildren. One of them is a graduate already. When we gather in the family, the point they raise is, when will our time come? We've waited for years. And I told them I know Nigeria when Nigeria was so sweet. I joined the police force at the age of 20. I was a commander of the mobile force, sub-commander of the mobile force at the same age. I traveled overseas, sponsored by the government, to detective training college. My salary paid in Nigeria, allowance given overseas. And the exchange rate was good. That was it. We have enjoyed it. And my sons are asking me, why is it that they can't even enjoy such a thing now? And the question is, we must accept that a time to retire. Some old men don't want to hear it. There's a time to pull back and give the young people their own time to move ahead.
Okay, sir. Now, you've had a background.
Yes.
Before we go into the solution to the restiveness we are experiencing in Nigeria today, from your background, you had a military background, and you were part of the war that happened before.
Yes.
And if people don't know, let me let you know that if anything could have happened to Ojukwu, it would have first of all happened to you.
Yes, I was aide de camp too.
Yeah, it's the aide de camp, as you call it. And the people will be called ADC, right? So you saw the war, you saw everything from beginning to the end.
Yes, I did.
And
I lived in exile.
I lived in exile with Ojukwu too. I came back with him at the same time.
No, I came back before him.
Okay, ahead of him. And now the agitation seems to have sprung up. The people who are saying that this revolution that is happening, this political emancipation and consciousness of the Nigerian people generally, especially from the southeast, they believe it will not happen. Do you have any advice for them? As someone who has seen the war before, would you advise the young generations who are bereft of the ideas of the experience of the war, and also an advice on how best to go about it now? Before we now go into the solution from the part of the government, so that this whole thing will be brought to a reasonable, conclusive, and I'm talking about the restiveness, how to bring peace.
Yes, war is a terrible thing. I tell you, if you never experience war directly, you can hardly know what it brings. During the war, what we experienced was horrible. Hunger, death, sudden death, and living like hopelessly, not knowing what is going to happen next. We saw children die of hunger. Kwashiorkor, which probably you don't know about, you haven't heard about, is a kind of hunger that makes a human being, especially children, dry up like skeletons. We saw thousands of people go like that. There were burials and funerals and all kinds of things. Every day, every minute, there was somebody being buried. I speak to you, young people, don't get into war. Don't ever move in a way that you prefer war to discussion and solution to the problem which you are here. There is nothing that cannot be talked about, discussed, and settled. I know what you're thinking by looking at me. I know what you're thinking, that we just stand and not defend ourselves if they want to fight us. The same thing I say to you is the same thing I say to the people whom you think will bring up a situation of war and attack upon you. There is a better way to settle things. Settle agitations, settle demonstrations, settle all kinds of disagreements. Yes, that's a better way.
So what is the way forward?
The way to me forward is simple. I remember what I suffered, I went through during the war and in exile. And I say there are three solutions if we apply it to the situation we have, whether you call it agitation or any level of disagreement with authorities, student strikes, and so on. There are three levels of solution I recommend. Number one, are you ready for number one?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Dialogue. I wasted time in bringing it to you so that the import of it will be great upon you. You have to think of dialogue. You have to be in a position to talk to the people that are involved. You that are agitating, are you in a position to talk to the principals, the ones that you are maybe fighting against? And you on the other side, have you given a thought of finding out really why that situation exists? Have you been able to hear from the other side their own views about the disagreement, the levels of disagreements you have? That is simply called dialogue. Talking and listening and giving the opposite side an opportunity to also talk and listen to you and eventually find a solution. Having explained it to this point, I want to give you the second option. The second option is this: dialogue. Being able to truly find out why certain situation exists, why people are behaving the way they are behaving, why they believe the things they believe. That's called dialogue. Genuine dialogue, sincere dialogue, effort to find out a solution or what's in the mind of the other side. And finally, you can guess, one more point: dialogue.
Dialogue.
Dialogue, 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 and the solution will come.
Thank you, sir. You have really offloaded a very powerful message to our people. One last thing before we wrap it up. The question is, are you obedient? Because there is a part of the word, the Bible, he told us that only the obedient will eat the fruits of the land.
Yes.
Do you see that happen to Nigerians in Nigeria?
Yes, of course, you know that obedient, it's, the obedients are members of a political party, the Labour Party. And there is a man that is the candidate of obedience. Gregory Peter Obi. I know him personally. I've interacted with him when he was governor. I know that he's not stingy. I know it personally. I know that he cares about how you spend government fund. I know that he's a hard worker. I know that he negotiates hard to make sure that the government or governance is at a winning side. I have found that his style of leadership, he gave the young people opportunity, he gave women opportunity that has never been given in these parts. He is traveled widely around the world. When he talks today, you imagine that his preparation for now had been long. He collected facts and figures to show that things can be done differently in Nigeria. He, by his approach to leadership and governance, erupted this tsunami that you are talking about in political circles. Our politicians, thank God for P2B. Our politicians are more agile than they used to be. They know that the people will not accept promises just like that. They will ask questions. So the issue now is this: is P2B the man a person like me would like to have in office? The answer is yes. And I brought my PVC registered, my family registered, my children, my wife, and I announced it in the church. So what one has to do is to go in and vote. For me, I will go in and vote Peter Obi for president. And then I will be full of expectations what will happen. I believe that his choice is divine. I join the rest of the millions of Nigeria that are trooping behind him to say, this is my card and it's going down for him.
Thank you so much. One thing you must take home: the movement for the liberation of the ordinary Nigerians from impunity in government. The revolution that is happening around Peter Obi is a spiritual thing.
Yes.
The obedient movement is a spiritual thing. And we thank our father, our spiritual father, who has spoken like a father. And we appreciate you. And we hope that the young ones out there will pick up the message. And the government as well should listen and think through dialogue. You need a man that will dialogue with all aspects of this country, agitating for one thing or the other. We must all sit on the table to discuss this. And that is what our father has brought to us. Thank you so much for giving us your time.
Thank you.
We hope to come around time and over to tap from your wealth of experience. God bless you, sir.
Thank you so much.
And that is where we're wrapping it
Amen.
up on this section. Keep watching, keep liking, keep sharing. Drop your comment on the comment section and stay connected to the voice of the people. Bye-bye for now.